months. Call 866-95-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Tonight, President Trump on the world stage asking, what good is NATO? The president on the attack, sitting across from world leaders, starting the fight at breakfast. His new demands tonight, and you will see and hear the NATO Secretary General engage in a tense back and forth with the president. Also tonight, new images now coming in, the boys waving to the camera inside the hospital. Their victory signs in Thailand, but what we did not know about the rescue, how long the boys were actually underwater. Unbelievable new details tonight, and the tearful parents still behind the glass at the hospital. Tonight, the stunning and deadly explosion blasting an American town. Nearly an entire block destroyed. How this happened, a firefighter was killed. Up and down the East Coast tonight, the new warnings from Cape Cod all the way down to the Carolinas. And the deadly tornado touching down, a baby killed, more than 24 hurt. Rob Marciano is standing by. The plane crash into that mountain in Alaska. How did everyone survive? The tourists on board. Tonight, our interview right here with a survivor. And the rescue teams who asked, how did the pilot pull this off? And tonight, the new surveillance of George Clooney's crash thrown from that scooter. Just how lucky he was and how it all happened. What the other driver is now saying.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Wednesday night. And we begin with President Trump on the attack, the fight beginning at breakfast today, sitting across from America's most trusted allies at the NATO summit. At one point today, the president asking, what good is NATO? And saying Germany is captive to Russia. Tonight, the president's new demands now from our allies, and you're about to hear that very tense exchange between the head of NATO and the president. ABC's chief foreign correspondent, Terry Moran, leading us off from Brussels tonight.
President Trump came here spoiling for a fight, and it began immediately with a tirade over breakfast with NATO's Secretary General, aimed at one of America's closest allies.
Germany, as far as I'm concerned, is captive to Russia because it's getting so much of its energy from Russia. So we're supposed to protect Germany, but they're getting their energy from Russia. Explain that. And it can't be explained, you know that.
The president furious about a recent $12 billion gas pipeline deal Germany signed with the Kremlin. While top U.S. officials sat there squirming, NATO's chief tried to defuse the moment.
I think that two world wars and the Cold War thought was that we are stronger together than apart.
But how can you be together when a country is getting its energy from the person you want protection against or from the group that you want protection?
Because we understand that when we stand together also when dealing with Russia, we are stronger. I think what we have seen is that...
No, you're just making Russia richer.
An astonishingly harsh attack, but when German Chancellor Angela Merkel showed up, she took the high road.
Ich möchte aus gegebenem Anlass hinzufügen,
offering a simple reminder that she grew up in communist East Germany under Soviet domination, and that a united Germany today controls its own destiny. President Trump's main complaint here, the allies aren't paying enough for their own protection. Many U.S. presidents have felt the same way, but Trump is demanding allies double their commitment to defense spending immediately. Still, it was all smiles when he met with Merkel.
We have a very, very good relationship with the Chancellor. We have a tremendous relationship with Germany.
But not long after, a Trump tweet, the final word, attacking Germany again and NATO itself. What good is NATO if Germany is paying Russia billions of dollars for gas and energy? The U.S. is paying for Europe's protection. With French President Emmanuel Macron, who's got a buddy relationship with Trump, it was a very different scene.
Merci beaucoup. Merci, Donald.
It sounded beautifully. I have no idea. It sounded great.
I have to say, I told them exactly the same.
Afterwards, they all tried to make it look like an ordinary NATO summit. The class photo and all the friendly-seeming banter. First Lady Melania Trump even chatting with Merkel over wine. But however good the vintage, the mood at this summit is sour.
So let's bring in Terry Moran tonight live from Brussels. And Terry, after the very public fighting words today, President Trump did eventually then sign the traditional NATO Declaration of Solidarity, affirming, quote, that the enduring and unbreakable transatlantic bond between Europe and North America to stand together against threats and challenges from any direction will, of course, continue. And back here at home, Terry, as the tension was playing out on the world stage, Congress made it crystal clear where they stand.
That's right, David. The Senate yesterday, the House today, passing overwhelmingly bipartisan resolutions supporting NATO. The Senate calling it a community of freedom, peace, security, and shared values. But all that is just paper. The presidency is power, especially in foreign policy. So if President Trump wants to radically change America's relationship with NATO, or even take us out of the alliance, that's what's going to happen.
No matter what the vintage of wine, as you pointed out there at the end of your report. Terry, thank you. We're going to turn next to dramatic new details tonight. What happened inside that cave during the rescue of the boys, what we had not heard before. The boys underwater for a half an hour at a time, unable to see through that murky water, of course. And tonight, look at this. Those 12 young soccer players and their coach, all recovering in a much brighter hospital room, waving at the camera, some of them giving the victory sign there. ABC's James Longman on what those boys endured as they were guided through the cave, the parents still waiting tonight to hold their boys, and the near disaster we first reported on last night, just moments after they were pulled from the cave. ABC's James Longman right there on the scene for us again tonight.
Tonight, for the first time, we see the heroic rescue from inside that cave. Watch as rescuers trudge up that muddy path, carrying one of those soccer players on a stretcher. The boy, wrapped in mylar blankets, carefully placed on the ground. Medics move in quickly, working in the light of their headlamps. It's a scene that would have played out 13 times, as one by one the boys, and finally their coach, were brought to safety. And as we first reported last night, that last rescue happening moments before the pumps broke, reflooding the cave, divers forced to leave their tanks inside. And tonight, we're learning more about just how this 3-day, high-stakes operation unfolded. That harrowing escape through the water and through the air. A US Air Force specialist describing to the AP a system rigged to whisk the boys across the cave's rocky expanses.
We had to basically set up rope systems and high lines to be able to, safely put them in a harness and bring them across large open areas.
Look at the conditions. This diver disappearing into the murky water. Before they went in, dive teams practicing in a swimming pool with local children. The boys enduring dives lasting up to half an hour, unable to see. Their coach, who helped keep his players calm by meditating, selected the order in which they'd be brought to safety.
Their coach and the boys all came together and discussed staying strong, having that will to live, having the will to survive.
And these new images tonight show the boys recovering inside that hospital, wearing surgical masks, a wave and a sign, V for victory. They've been given vaccines, vitamins, antibiotics, but there's still a fear of infection. Their parents and family members on the other side of that glass, wiping away tears, finally able to see their sons.
We saw those parents with their hands to their faces today, wiping those tears. James Longman back with us again tonight. You're outside the hospital there, James. We saw the images, relatives looking through the glass. Hard to believe they're still waiting to hug those boys. But you learned today that they were at least able to get a little closer.
That's right, David, but they're still only able to get as close as 6 feet. And when their mothers saw them, they had to wear protective clothing. We are told the boys are still working their way towards solid food, and they'll be here at the hospital for at least another 5 days. David?
All right, just amazing reporting from you, James, and the entire team there. We thank you again tonight. In the meantime, back here at home now, and to the deadly gas explosion in downtown Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. First responders had already been answering a call about a punctured gas line, but look at this. Then the massive blast occurred, killing a fire captain there and injuring several others. Tonight, nearly the entire block is now gone, and families are being told at this hour it is still unsafe to return. ABC's Alex Perez from the scene tonight.
This bird's eye view showing that monster blast ravaging Main Street in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Entire buildings leveled, thick clouds of black smoke filling the air.
There was this big boom and it knocked me to the ground. And I felt it like it took the breath out of my body.
We need to get everybody away from the building.
Authorities say a contractor working nearby cut through a gas line Tuesday night. Officials quickly evacuated most of the area, but about 40 minutes later, that monster explosion. Trisha Buddig witnessing the aftermath.
There were flames, there were cars on fire. Some of the buildings were, all the windows were blown out.
That devastation is still smoldering hours later.
Buildings sheared right off of their foundation, tons of debris.
Authorities confirming volunteer firefighter Corey Barr died from his injuries after responding to the scene. 5 other firefighters were treated. Barr was a 15-year veteran of the force and leaves behind his wife and twin daughters.
David, gas in the area remains shut off. Crews are still on the scene inspecting the damage. Officials tonight saying miraculously no civilians were killed. David?
All right, Alex, our thanks to you. And we're going to turn next year to the miracle survival after that plane crash in Alaska. Tourists on board as the plane crashed into a mountain. And look at this, the pilot somehow managing to land the small aircraft on the rocky side of the mountain in the middle of fog and rain. Everyone survived this. Tonight, right here, our interview with one of the survivors as rescue teams now ask how the pilot pulled this off. ABC's Will Carr tonight from Alaska.
Tonight, for the first time, a survivor describing the horrifying plane crash into the side of an Alaskan mountain.
We could have gone head on into the mountain, and we didn't, and so I'm very thankful for that.
11 people thankful to be alive after the float plane slammed onto that mountain at an elevation of 2,000 feet. The pilot narrowly missing jagged rocks and steep cliffs.
What are the odds that this pilot could crash land this plane, keep it intact, and keep everybody safe?
It's incredible. It's 99. He had a 0.1% chance of survival. I don't think there's any way he could have repeated that outcome.
Coast Guard Lieutenant Commander Jason Condone and flight mechanic Mike Van Berkom swooped into the crash site.
Cloud cover was the thickest I've ever been in. We're fully expecting fatalities just due to the sheer rock faces around the area.
To see that helicopter through the fog was just, a huge relief.
The rescue crews hoisting 10 passengers and the pilot up one by one into a helicopter and ultimately to safety, all expected to be okay.
Nothing but 11 smiles shining back at us. They're pretty grateful.
David, it's still not clear what caused the plane to crash. Investigators are now hiking to that wreckage that's still on the side of the mountain as tonight both the pilot and the rescue crews receiving praise for getting everyone to safety. David.
It was incredible. Will Carr, thank you. We're monitoring warnings up and down the East Coast tonight and also the aftermath of a deadly tornado elsewhere. Look at the cleanup after a deadly twister in North Dakota. It was an EF2. That means winds 127 miles an hour, destroying homes there and killing a newborn, a baby just 7 days old. And in the east tonight, look at this. Hurricane Chris, now a Category 1, winds 90 miles an hour, kicking up possibly life-threatening currents, they're saying, from the Carolinas all the way up to New England tonight to Cape Cod. So let's get right back to ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano tracking it all. And Rob, they're really telling everyone to take this seriously.
Very much so, David, because even though Chris is over 500 miles off the coast of the U.S., it's bringing dangerous conditions to the beaches up and down the East Coast. Take a look at this video out of Ocean City, Maryland, where a lifeguard jumped into action to save a youngster struggling to surf there, potentially being pulled out to sea by a rip current. You see the big waves, but you don't see these rip currents, and they can be deadly. 275 rescues this week at that beach alone. Here's the map from Cape Hatteras to Cape Cod. Even some beaches closed in Massachusetts tonight. That's where the danger is the most severe. And you also see the track of it going out to sea, maybe skimming Newfoundland. But the center of this thing, still a formidable storm at one point, over 100-mile-an-hour winds today, David, and bringing dangerous impacts, obviously, to the East Coast beaches right now.
All right, Rob Marciano with us again tonight. We appreciate it, Rob. Next tonight, if you've ever witnessed an unruly passenger while you've been flying, perhaps you'll appreciate this story tonight. A hefty fine for one of those unruly passengers whose behavior forced Delta to divert the flight. He was taken into custody at the airport. He's now pleaded guilty to a federal assault charge, but you're about to hear what he'll have to pay for now. Here's ABC senior transportation correspondent David Curley on that.
This man's behavior on a jetliner, this is him moments after he was escorted off that plane, could cost him nearly 10 grand.
Understand a level 2 and you have received express.
The Delta flight from Portland to Atlanta just 6 weeks ago was diverted to Tulsa so that Bolotifi Olarunda could be removed. He admits to singing loudly and screaming, telling a flight attendant, "If you touch me again, you will regret it." His plan to plead guilty to federal assault charges also carries restitution for the airline. That little detour on a 737, according to Delta, costing $9,118. Airlines say it's not uncommon for prosecutors to seek restitution. This man was ordered to pay nearly $100,000 to Hawaiian Airlines for a diversion after he slapped a flight attendant. In this most recent case, the man who's preparing to plead guilty could also face a $5,000 fine and up to 6 months in prison, in addition to paying that nearly $10,000 to Delta. David?
David Curley with us tonight. Thanks, David. There's still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Wednesday. Newly released images, the frightening train accident.